Okay, I think we're all up and running at last. Took a bit of time to load that. Anyway, right then. So, as the picture may showed from the start of the stream, we've got a new flight yoke. So, what I'm going to do, it's going to be short and sweet this one because I just want to have a bit of a practice. It's pretty late, um, but just want to do a couple of circuits, get used to the flight yoke. First time I've ever used one of these, so it's going to be a lot different than using the what was it, the T-Flight HOTUS I was using, which is still plugged in. I'm using the throttle of that for throttle control at least. Yeah, all fun and games. Let's get some things started on then. Let's get the old batteries going on. Might as well get this thing started. Hoping that my brake actually works today because I've had some problems with the old brake. Okay, beacon on. Taxi light. Okay, so we'll run down that way to the end of the runway. A little bit patchy around here, but this is just a small little runway. Nice and simple. As for the yoke itself, yeah, okay. You know, you can get cheaper. You can get the Logitech, which comes with throttle for about 100 to 120 quid. But for this thing, where you're looking at about 230 odd quid, it certainly feels very premium. I haven't got anything I can compare it to, but from what I've seen and read, you know, it's probably the flight stick to go for. And they're bringing out a throttle for this as well, which is due out in March. All being well, I wouldn't mind picking that up as well, to be honest. Assuming my brake is working there. Get back in. So, just want to go straight to flying with the controls and why it's different. This, it does allow you to be way more precise than what I was being with the T-Flight. You can feel that straight away. So using HOTUS, you just can't be as precise. Okay, just want to gain a little bit of altitude and we'll try our next turn. Hey Gareth, how you doing? I'm doing very well, thank you. And didn't make that turn very well, did we? I think we're a bit off. I'm in a little bit more. I don't want to climb anymore, that's for sure. Let's get the nose down. I reckon. You got them sorted, did you? Managed to take them apart. That's a little bit better. That's where I want to be anyway. Heading tab so I know roughly where I am. We're going a bit wide. Bring it in. First thing you notice straight away is you're doing less input with the yoke. It's easier to bank and hold an angle with the yoke than it is with the flight stick. Should be roughly that. Oh god. Behind your bank angles. I think I've come a bit too far. Okay, this one's going to be a bit of a mess. It's over there somewhere. I've lost sight of it. We'll do an early turn. I don't want to drop any more altitude right yet. You strip them right down, yeah? Gain a bit of altitude. There's the airport over there if I can see it properly. Oh, well, for a first attempt, it's a bit of a mess. Getting back on track now, that's the main thing. So much easier to control. And I wish I bought a yoke ages ago. Slam on the old anchors. Hey, it's good that you got them working. How do you feel about the mod now? Do you feel that it's giving you more brake travel and you can play with the brake more? Right, so heading-wise, I'll try that again. I want to do a few of these just to try and get accustomed to it all. Make sure that yeah, it's fine with that. We'll go round for round 2, see if we can get a better... Right, let's gain more altitude. It's damn easier to push. It is. It's a lot different, isn't it? It was one of the first mods I did to it, and it's well worth doing. Okay, want to climb too much. It's quite surprising how stiff it is to actually push forward. Who knew? Oh god, flaps are still. Oh, that's going to throw me off. That was a mistake. I should have checked my flaps. Right, now we're turning too much into the airport. GTA, as I said before, do the GTA brake spring mod. I found that worked rather well. You can even get custom rubbers to put back in if you want to add a little bit extra pressure from a rubber stop. I think we might just hoof this one in. Well, I would. But I've lost sight of the airport again. I was there. Man, I'm gonna need a lot of practice. Flying too close to the airport. Should have left it further. Right, go for a notch down. Get down, ship. Still not as tidy as I'd like it. I mean, I don't know if there may be other springs, but I couldn't recommend. I mean, the GTI one is the one that I tried, and it seemed perfectly fine by using that. Also, I think if you wanted to, if you're not using the clutch that much, I think the clutch spring is stronger than the brake spring, so you could dismantle the clutch, take the spring out, swap the springs around. But try it first, because I can't remember which one's stronger. I know I swapped one of them around. I can't remember if it was the clutch with the accelerator or the clutch with the brake. But yeah, have a play around with those springs, but double check first. Right, okay, let's try this again, shall we? That should be. Get some altitude going. That's fairly easy. All depends on, at the end of the day, how powerful your PC is. I mean, you only need the software. You don't have to go for an encoder card or anything. But then that relies on your PC hardware. So if your PC's up to the job, then you can certainly stream off it. If you've got one of the newer graphics cards from Nvidia, like an RTX card, then it makes it even easier, because that can do a lot of the encoding work for you and can get you started. A little overcooked, so let's just bank it over. A little bit better. So much easier. I'm so used to using the flight stick. It's just kind of weird doing it with this. I know what I need to do, but it's just not working out properly. This is looking better, though. Just need to stop the altitude increasing a second. Problem is when you do the turn and then all of a sudden you don't see where the airport is. Hey, Ofki, how you doing? Trucks away! Aha! Coming in for the final turn. We're a bit late for that one. We overcooked that one. But we've got plenty of room to correct that. Yeah, I'm all very well, thank you. Just trying out the new toy. I like it. It's good. Definitely helps trying to get into flight sims, and that's what I'm trying to do. And by having this, it'll make me practice more. I've got to lose the altitude with that. Jesus. Ooh, that was a bit heavy. Brakes! Right. I think we're doing okay so far. Slap the old brakes on yet again. I think I'll give it one more try. I've got the heading. That way then I can track roughly where I am without having to look everywhere else. Been doing any more dirt rally off-key? Whoa. It's going up quick. Have a look. Tracking along the airport. That's okay. That was a better turn. It's easy to do. I've done it once or twice. It's like, God damn it! This is why sometimes when it comes to practice, I tend to just go into like not the events, but into free play, and just load up the stage there and practice that way instead. That way, then I know that if I do mess up, it's not going to affect my actual race or stage at try. You know. Gotta get used to using these trim adjusters on the yoke. Quite stiff. Finding myself I'm over pressing. Try not to dip the nose too much. Some choice words were said. I can imagine. Oh, Jesus. That overcooked it. Gotta get used to that effect. Well, we've done a couple of circuits. I feel like, I reckon we try... I'm just going to go for a visual flight. Careful on the old... Well, that's not good. Oh, the map. That caused a little bit of lag. Oh, yeah, that's a bit better. Gone and done it again, isn't it? It's changed windows to the map. I hate it when it does that. I really, really do. Right, give me a second, I'll fix that. Oh! don't do that. It should be on that one. Stupid system. And I still don't have the flaps all the way down. I really got to get into the habit of checking my flaps. Sounds really bad. Yes, no comment. It's a good idea. It's a wise move. We're going to head over that way, skip across the sea for a change. Check that my altitude oh, that's not going to work. Let's try something else. That one. Heading. Oh, wrong way. Oh, Jesus. I hate when it does that. I want to go that way. I'm heading in the wrong direction. So if we're lucky, we'll be heading straight in for the airport from where we are now. Right over there on the coast, basically. All the way over there. Oh, but I'm liking it. This is my first yoke, and I'm glad I didn't go for the basic Logitech. It's nice having the full range of movement, the quality to it, the feel, the finish to it. Very nice. Switch just seems solid enough. I keep forgetting that it's got a little what you call it, hat switch, which you can use for looking around, so it makes it a lot smoother than using a mouse. You can pan around and do nice smooth moves. Let's see. I think we're heading okay. Maybe turn in a little bit. Still need to have a look at maybe getting a camera mod. I know there is one out there. But maybe I'll just wait and see what happens. I did sign up for the Flexim 2020 alpha testing. So we'll see if they allow me. You know, I won't be able to say anything or stream anything, but it'd be interesting to have a look and see whether my PC will run it. That was the wrong button. Try that one. Have a look at what's down on the ground. It's somebody playing Truck Sim. ETS. Off they go. Interesting. It's actually quite good knowing that this land below now is actually taken from proper maps. But you mean that thing? Don't know what the hell that is. That has a lot of wind turbines. Holy crap. Imagine having to be the guy who has to service them buggers. Holy crap. Up and down. Trying to see if I can spy the airport. It's slap bang in front of us somewhere. Probably end up having to fly over it and turn around. Good pay if you don't die. It's actually really nice flying with the yoke because I was forever, you know, using a flight stick, you're forever doing correction. you know, it was forever just moving and getting the thing. This, you can just make your movement, let go, stay in there. Make your movement, let go, stay in. It's so much nicer. So I would say to anybody who's serious about trying to get into flight sims, a yoke does really help. We're off over that way somewhere. Yeah, I would say that, to be honest. You know, I didn't think I would notice a huge difference in control, but you do. It just makes it so much more. You know, with all I can say is with the HOTAS, I was always making constant adjustments to the aircraft. With this, I can make a turn, let go, and it pretty much holds that unless I'm doing something completely stupid or drastic. Hey, Equalizer, how you doing? I mean, I haven't even got the autopilot switched on, or I was just leaving the yoke, and I'm just panning around. I'm not having to worry about the aircraft. It's doing its thing, but it's all good. Yeah, just trying out the flight stick, and it's only going to be a short stream. Just wanted to have a quick practice because it's late. It arrived today, so I thought might as well crack it open. I didn't bother doing a unpacking video. There's plenty of people who have done that already, so that's one airport that we're flying, but it's the next airport we're after. It's over here somewhere. There it is over there, actually, so I need to start turning. Ah, hit the wrong button again. We're heading for those buildings over there. There's the runway. Yes, the honeycomb flight yoke. I like it. Nice. But again, just in case anybody else is new to this, it's I've got no experience using any of the yoke. My experience is a T-Flight HOTAS or an X55 HOTAS, so I can't really do a comparison between any other flight yoke. But I was toying with the idea of getting the Logitech for about 100 quid. But I thought, nah, I want something a little better. Sheesh. Left that one a bit too long. That would be the one. FedEx over there. Go and park it by the big boys. It wasn't that bad, was it? Still got to get used to it. I find it was easy. I find it quite easy with the HOTAS for landing, but maybe it's because I've just got more practice with the HOTAS. Ooh, look, kicking up the dirt behind me. Who knew? KLM. Should change that. Call it the KLF. I'm sure that's been said 1,000 times. Yeah, for flight sticks, I've got a T-Flight HOTAS or an X55, which is mounted to the driving rig. So I've been using the T-Flight when I'm upstairs on this PC that I've been streaming xplane with for the last 5 or 6 streams for xplane. But because I want to try and get more into flight sims, I've said to myself, right, let's get a flight yoke and get into it more and practice more, you know? That's the idea behind it anyway. I do enjoy flight sims anyway. But I was just getting really annoyed using the yoke because it was constant adjustments. I'm sorry, using the HOTAS because it was just constant adjustments. While flying it, it just becomes tiresome. Yeah, I've read about the dead zone. I mean, I would say that yes, there probably is a dead zone there, but there's nothing that you can't just look over. To me, it's nothing major, but then I'm not used to anything different when it comes to a yoke. So maybe for me it's a non-issue because I don't know any better. But it certainly doesn't just detract from the actual item itself. I mean, if I go back into the aircraft now, there is a tiny bit of movement, but compared to my movement is a little bit more than what you see on the screen. Then everything else after, perfectly fine. So it's I would say yes, there is a dead zone, but it's small. And it's certainly not something where I'm thinking, oh my god, this is absolutely terrible, I've got to return this, because, you know, it was something that I was worried about. But I'll admit, to me, it's a non-issue. And perhaps it's great coming into this without having tried another flight stick. You know, on the flip side, I could have gone for the Logitech flight stick. But I know with the Logitech, that only does a 45-degree turn. So that even though I can turn, say, 45 degrees with the Logitech, that 45 is actually a 90 that you see on the screen. Whereas I wanted a 1-to-1, and I know that this gives me a 1-to-1. So if I turn 90, I get 90. And that was more important to me than the small dead zone that everybody was talking about. And I gotta admit, you know, as I say, it's not a huge problem at all. So if anybody's thinking about it, I'm ahhing about it. Number one, buy it from somewhere like Amazon, because if you really dislike the dead zone, you can send it back. Will there be an update? Who knows? We don't know whether it's a fixed firmware or whether it's an updatable firmware inside the unit, so there may be a chance of an update. I do know that people have fitted an Arduino board internally to this. I was looking at the video myself today, where that will get rid of the dead zone, but it means fitting an Arduino board and its own USB cable, so you'll end up having two USB cables. And of course you're modding a £200 flight yoke straight away, so that's your warranty gone. So there are options out there. There are people out there who have modded and worked around it, but for me, I can certainly live with the small dead zone that's on there. It's I didn't really think about it when I first put it on. I thought, okay, it's there, but it's nothing. As I say, I'm gently wigging the wheel left to right, and you get a very tiny little flutter on the screen. But as soon as I start giving any meaningful turn, I get a response straight away. And it's mapping straight away, you know? There doesn't seem to be any lag in that respect, and it hits the 90. When I hit the 90, I'm looking on the screen, doing the turns now, as I just hit the microphone, you know? That's the dead. I mean, it's annoying because I haven't got a camera set up here so you can't see, but it really isn't anything to be any concern, I would say. Where am I on this runway? I need a taxi right the way to the end. I could just turn around. But I could turn where I am here, actually, and take off again and fly back. Which I might just do. Taxi! Get back to the runway, shall we? Nothing coming in, so we can carry on. Get my trim reset. Right. Get the heading. I'm gonna head back. Whatever that is. Another small airport. There's some Google planes. Kind of weird though how it all seems to be linking in with the map. Guess it goes to show how well they've kind of done it. So we're going to head back. Ah. Helps to hit the right button. Train. Right, where are we? We need to be banking, I think. Come in. That should do. So what about yourself, Equalizer? You into flight sims or off-key or grants? Got yourself a little flight sim setup, or are you just like watching? I gotta admit, it's there's a guy I like watching, Captain Canada. He does a really good job with his flight sims, and he's really good. Enjoy watching his flights. There's a guy who knows what he's doing, because it's like I have no idea, but maybe one day I can get to learn the plane inside and out like he does. There's a few other guys I've watched recently as well. There's so many good streamers who just know the ins and outs of these aircraft, and I take a look at one of maybe like a Zebo mod plane, and it's like, oh my god, how the hell are you just gonna soak in all that information? Maybe one day, maybe we'll just click. You don't use any flight sims? I've always had an interest in flight sims. I think nearly every PC, or even back in the early days, you know, we're talking back in the Commodore 64, Commodore Amiga days, especially Commodore Amiga. I think that's when I had my first Microsoft Flight Simulator. And then things like F-18 Interceptor, although it's not really a flight sim, but I think that's one of the things that brought me into that genre of gaming. But then certainly when Microsoft Flight Sim came out, that was worth having a dabble on, shall we say. But I've never gone to the level of at least grabbing an aircraft like the Cessna here now and having a basic understanding. And I don't know all the ins and outs of ILS approach and things like that. That's another thing I'll have to learn, you know. But just getting the thing up and off the ground and flying around, I enjoy that part. No chance of getting the toaster off your head. You're stuck with that. Excuse me. So we're travelling probably... Well, if we were heading straight to the airport, we're heading slightly off to the east of it. And then we'll end up turning in. Should use that button notion. I get the old smooth panning. Ooh, yeah. I've been trying to think of some old games. I think one of them was like Stealth. Something Stealth. Ah, I can't remember what it was now. And I'm sure there was like the odd... at least one or two Micro Prose sims. Ah, what were they? They were more like fighter sims, though, you know, bombing runs and things like that. Mind you, if you look at them now, you would just sit there and think, how the hell did he work out what was a target and what was a ground object? It's so blocky and, oh my god. I just enjoyed getting the aircraft off the ground and flying around. It's like I had F-18 Interceptor on the Commodore Amiga. For me, the fun was just taking off the aircraft carrier and landing it back on the aircraft carrier. Or trying to get close to another aircraft, which usually ended up in you dying because they normally shot you down. Or trying to see who could get closest to the sea, or fly under the bridge that was there. There was that. But usually it was taking off and landing on the aircraft carrier. Which, let's face it, back in those days was a miracle in itself, because the graphics didn't update smoothly like this at all. What was that? The lines... Oh, that is the power cables, is it? Oh yes, power cables. That's alright, I was just going to say, what the hell are those lines? The airport's over there somewhere? I have no idea. It's the M4 motorway. Nope, absolutely nothing. The maps basically you download from Bing or Google using Auth for XP. The only thing it'll cost you is the electricity supply to have your PC on. It took me under 24 hours to download 90 tiles at zoom level 17. I think it worked it out at being about 20 hours PC constantly on, converting the tiles. How many gig? Ooh, just under 500 gig. But I slung in a 3 terabyte hard drive just to be on the safe side, you see. Because I thought, right, I don't know how many tiles I'm going to end up doing, but I want to map the whole of the UK. So at the end of it was 90 tiles. 89, 90 anyway, somewhere around there. And about 500 gigs worth. But I've done a straightforward zoom level 17. You could do 16 and then zoom in around the airports. Now, what I may do is choose the airports that I'm going to be flying to, go back to those particular tiles, zoom in and enhance the detail around the airports. But that's another project. But it's good to know you can always go back and tweak a tile if you need to. So when you go back and redo a tile, you don't have to download the whole tile. If it's just like an airport area you want to redo at a higher level, you just click that and it'll do that part for you. I think I've turned that one a little bit too much. Let's head back west a little bit. That'll do. And then we can turn it in towards the end. Airport's over there somewhere. Just can't quite see it. Now I'll turn a little bit. Yeah. No, there's no way I'm purchasing like a 3 terabyte SSD. I mean, a 2 terabyte is going to cost you £200, and that's for, you know, maybe the old style. I mean, you might get an NVMe these days for around 200 quid. But again, I think it doesn't need to be any faster. I mean, to be honest, I've had no loading issues at all, and I'm using... I know it's a 3 terabyte, it's a Seagate drive. Can't remember if it's a 5,400 or a 7,200 RPM drive, but either way, it's not a problem. It's been doing perfectly fine. Airport's over there. That's a drive I've just had sitting around doing absolutely nothing for ages, so in a way I'm kind of glad that I'm using it. Right, let's knock that off. Supposed to be using the flight controls. We shall. I'll have a look at that now. Concentrate in a second. Like, holy crap. Well, this thing just wants to go down, doesn't it? Holy crap. Ugh. That was a better landing. Bought one of those plug-and-play hard drive ports where you just slot the hard drive in the top. Alright, yeah. Nice! What the hell? I think that's a deer. Wow, this thing's freaking huge! Quick, catch up! Let me catch it up. What the? What the flip? Oh my god. I can't believe that. That thing's massive. Hey Jasper, how you doing? Oh my god. If that's the size of the deer, how big are the birds in this game? They're gonna be freaking huge. Yeah, it is. That's their random event. There is supposedly you can get birds and deer. Clearly, you can get deer because we've just seen them. That's the first time I've seen the deer in the game. And to be honest, I'm hoping it'll be the last time I see the deer in the game because they're freaking huge. I'm kind of intrigued to see how big a bird is now. I'm wondering if the bird is as big as a plane. Because I definitely don't want an aircraft to strike with a bird. That would be too funny. Oops. That's my camera. Oh, that was close. Can't be, this is my local airport. There's no way he's having them around here. To be honest, I don't even know if there's any deer around these parts anyway. It's more likely to be cows or horses around this way. Suspension with there. I do enjoy flying this, even if I am pretty crap at it. Have a look at the old map a second. What's the time? It's getting a bit late. Right, and guys and gals, thank you for watching. No doubt we'll have more of this kind of thing now, because we got the flight yoke. It's fitted, it's mounted to the desk. So, and again, for anybody who's wondering, for the throttle I'm using the T-Flight Hotus throttle, which means I've still got that plugged in, along with the honeycomb flight yoke. And all I'm doing is using the throttle from the T-Flight. Got the flaps assigned to the T-Flight and the parking brake and what have you, and the brakes assigned to the T-Flight. Time for a jet. You know, the problem with when you upgrade from this to the jet, you've got to learn how to program it all ready for takeoff. It's not as simple as this, where it's a couple of flick a couple of switches and you can pretty much get off the ground, you know? Take care, Equalizer. Santa Claus, you left your reindeer on the runway. You may want to run over in that direction and you'll find your reindeer. I must admit, they're rather big. Nearly as big as the damn plane. But anyway, I'm going to end the stream there. Thanks for watching. Give it the old thumbs up if you enjoyed. We'll be back tomorrow with something or other. I don't know, I've actually fancied a little bit of a Assetto Corsa again. Assetto Corsa competition, maybe get a bit more driving around. Or maybe a bit of ETS, I don't know, I haven't quite decided. Anyway, we'll find out. But thanks for watching, take care, bye for now.